Hi, friends. Today I want to get into the creative journey, the spiritual journey, how these two blend together, and really go into how to ignite that spark so that we're in this constant creative flow and we always know how to get back into it. So I like to think of a spiritual practice as sort of maintenance work to allow yourself to be able to have this creative inspiration and ideas flow through you and every journey that you take in your life. These are almost like tools, if you will, to help guide you along the way. And I want to just offer some guidance because I've gone through many spiritual journeys, many creative journeys. And over the years, I've gone through my own ups and downs, my own dark nights of the soul, and deep depressions and a lot of self doubt. And I've also had elevated experiences and mystical experiences, as well as being a professional creative and having to create under pressure and always trying to find that spark, that inspiration, that aha idea. And both of these things are really kind of in this same juicy spot. It's in our sacral energy, and it's us plugging into this divine source, this universal source of creation. And what we really have to do is allow ourselves to open up and become this creative conduit, this creative channel, and allow for that to come through. And so I want to talk about some tools and some guidance that I think can really help you along either your creative journey or spiritual journey. I'd like you to think about them for this video if you can kind of get this mindset that these two things actually work together. So when you're stumped on ideas or you feel like you have a block, I think these pieces will help you open up into new ideas that are really deep and profound. And so this is more about this contemplation journey that we like to go on. And I want to invite you to explore this interior space so that you always know how to tap into this creative wealth, this creative well inside of you, this spring well that you can constantly keep flowing. This is actually a little preparation piece that I have in my course, Ignited Soul, so that you're really able to take on this journey, but to get some grounding in so that it's not only just a reminder, because some of these steps I think you're going to know really well, but also just to really take it to another level and apply this every time you want to work on a piece or anytime you are just looking for something in your life where you feel you've plateaued a little bit or you're somehow drained, you're dried, you're burnt out. I know that feeling when we're constantly in this production of having to make things happen all the time and we don't allow ourselves that rest and that incubation for thought or just that allowance to relax and let things come in. As we get into this, there's going to be 7 steps that I want to walk you through. And this is really yours to create. You can take these steps however you want. I think it's just a nice flow and it's organized in a certain way. But this is also for you to take and design your own spiritual path, your own spiritual practice along the journey that you embark on, wherever that is. We have our creative journey, we have our spiritual journey, we have our relationship journey, we have our career and our business journey. They all start in the same way, and they all need contemplation, and they all need room for us to really understand what is it that we truly want in our lives? What is it that truly is something meaningful for us? Where do we want to put meaning in our lives? And so when we're able to pause and take these moments and go through this process and prepare ourselves, it's like inviting a guest over. You want to prepare the house. You want to make sure everything is clean. You want to make sure that you have food prepared. This is how we want to think of this divine source and this universal ether essence that comes through that gives us that like creative muse spark, that inspiration that we can't quite put our finger on it. Now, we never really know when it comes in, but we need to be prepared for it so that we're always allowing the opportunity to come in and strike, and that we open up a channel so much so that it's a constant flow. And we also know when that time is just to relax and rest. And in that process is where things will pop in. I found these steps to really be more requirements as I move through different levels of my life. And as I keep continuing to want to expand on my own creativity, things that I wanted to do 20 years ago, I now can put into practice because I really understand the essence of being able to move through this. So we're really just going to get into the preparation work today. And I want to help you get back into that divine spark so we can ignite that even more. And you've got that fuel, that inspired action, so that you've got the motivation, you have the wherewithal to move through it and to actually not get stuck, because you're in a divine channel. You're in a connection where you're really bringing out into the world something other than you. You're just a conduit to bring in these ideas, to bring these ideas to life for the rest of us. And we all come together in this interconnected web of ideas that create and build society. Spirituality isn't about religion. It's not about believing in any sort of dogma or certain rules or any certain deities. It's a inner journey within. It's you connecting to the spirit within you and the collective energy that has been creating all of us, this like essence of creation of life itself. And so, this is what we mimic in our art and in our culture and in our heritage. This is what we have adored for thousands and thousands of years. And so, we're able right now in this time period to have the freedom and the opportunity to really blossom however we want to develop our own selves. And if we can understand this essence and the sense of we are co-creators with nature, we're a conduit to life force itself. And this is how we use to navigate the world. And this is how we bring things to life. And so we can actually define our own systems and we can create our own manifesto as we carve out our individual path. We didn't really have this freedom before. And so it can be overwhelming and it can be a big undertaking to understand, like, what is it, you're having this awakening, you're going through these things, you may have had multiple awakenings, and what was working for you doesn't work anymore. Either way, we want to find these, we want to really hone in on these tools and just go back to the basics and make sure that we're doing the maintenance work and the groundwork to keep that creative well flowing through us. The first step is, what really is your intention? So let's say you have these really beautiful ideas that you want to put into the world. You will have these ideas about your life. You have these ideas about the things that you want to create, the purpose and the meaning that you want to add into your life. What is that intention? If you do want to deepen your spirituality, what is the intention behind it? And this is not to have some crystal clear vision necessarily of what it is that you want to be. And if that is the case, that's wonderful. And then hold on to that vision and embody that. But this is also just a sense of, if we're not sure where we want to go, we want to have some sense of a direction. We want to have some point of interest, right? So we can feel lost, which feels uncomfortable and icky, because what we really want is a sense of direction. So if we can give ourselves a sense of something, then we become a wanderer. Then we become an explorer and an adventurer, and we're seeking out something. We're seeking an experience. We're seeking an understanding, a deepening. And so, even if that intention for what this purpose is just to feel bold, to feel brave, to feel love, to feel peace, it can just be this embodiment of a virtue, of an essence to help move you forward. To say, if everything had that one particular theme, let's use love because that's just wonderful. How could I bring that into my finances? How do I bring that into my relationships? How do I bring that into my work? How do I bring that into my health? And we start to see how everything starts to come together because we have a sense of direction. And we can start cultivating everything that we do, all the work that we do, all the things that we build in our lives have this theme around them. And I would recommend that every year you put a new theme. I've seen this with lots of really wonderful teachers. I do this myself, and it just adds a nice layer. It adds a nice like backbone and structure to what it is that your purpose is and what you want to do with your life. This is you constructing and doing whatever it is that you want, but I want to help give you a focus and a guidance so that you're navigating and you're steering your own ship without going onto so many detours. And the detours then just become these magical moments, because when we know a little bit about where we're going, it's much more exciting, and the magic happens when we really participate with life and we allow for life to happen. We're not really controlling everything. We're not trying to be so particular that everything is planned out. We're not trying to plan or control. We just want to set an intention. We just want to go for something greater as we move and explore and expand and grow, because that's what we love to do. We're constantly looking for motion and growth. So Reflect on an intention, reflect on a word, something that resonates for you, something that is powerful, that lights you up. We want to look for that ignited spark. Maybe the word is ignite. Maybe how do you ignite things in your life more? How do you bring that fire energy into your life more? That could be something wonderful. So the next step or tool is to practice self-observation. And I love this practice because this can go so deep and it can go so wrong and it can go so right. And this really needs balance between how far down you want to spiral or how far up you want to elevate. But the sense of self observation is really taking account of what thoughts are really propelling you forward or holding you back, and what emotions are propelling you forward, what momentum is moving you forward, and what holds you back, so that we can look at objectively in a much higher perspective of what's going on. We can start to see underneath the layer and we can start to see our patterns. Journaling is going to be the best tool to get your thoughts out of your mind. I have had many, many times where I will be journaling and I'll notice I'm writing the same aggravation, the same frustration over and over again. And after a while, I'm tired of writing it. So I got to figure out how I need to solve this. I need to stop making excuses, or not even excuses. No, they're not even excuses, man. I'm so sorry. I have to stop writing the same thing over and over again because I'm tired of writing the ways in which I'm holding myself back but not getting to it. And so it's a really great way to just sit back and like, how do I solve this? How do I look at this? And really like take a look at this. And what can I do to make it better? And this starts us, right? These first two steps, you can already start to see how this inner world starts to open up. I'm taking baby steps to set an intention. And now I have a lens that's in front of me. And now I'm going to look through everything in my life with that lens and I'm going to see new things. I'm enhancing and I'm deepening the awakening that I have in what it is that I want to be a conduit to create in the world, in my life. And so the self observation is not judgment, it's discernment. It's a way to look at just your nature, your actual nature. It gives you an opportunity to say, I'm not a morning person. I'm going to stop trying to wake up so early. I'm better in the evening, or I'm better in the morning. I'm going to stop trying to do all these things. And the most important stuff is at the end of the day. I can start to look at my life and say, this would be better if I actually just accepted that this is who I am and work with this instead of pushing myself to do what I think I'm supposed to do. And we can really just release tension, release these stories, and we're free to flow because we're not putting these weird requirements and restrictions on us. And that's just through journaling. That's just through self observation. That's just something you could do a few minutes every day. Self reflection. How did the day go? And then you can get into your deeper intuitive instincts and start like really getting into your self observations about what synchronicities and ways in life are unfolding. And you get into these mystical experiences. It's wonderful. So practice journaling, practice writing, practice documenting your life. Maybe it's through photos, but it's a way that you're really being honest with yourself and having that conversation. Because this is going to be key, right? It's you knowing you, and it's you knowing when you're in your way and when you're out, and when you can get yourself out of your way so that you can allow things to come through. The third step tool is to explore various modalities: spiritual, healing, artistic. Explore different modalities that have to do with your well being. This is self care. This is a way in which you can start to think about meditation, breath work. If you're not as artistic as you want to be, this is a great way to explore. Right, we're already setting steps and we're stacking. So we're already setting intentions. We're already looking and observing about our nature. So what would be the most fun to explore in a modality that allows you for self-care, that allows you to take care of yourself in a way that nurtures your needs, that nurtures something within you, like your inner child? What would be something either to learn or to explore, or to even some spiritual modalities? Is there something within that realm that would be available to you to open up your intuitive, creative, insightful ways of thinking. So we're kind of leaving the practical off to the side, but we're experiencing and exploring different ways in which we can get more in tune with ourselves. So this is kind of the woo-woo part of like what would be most exciting for you. And allow yourself to be open-minded. And that takes us to step or tool number 4, reading spiritual texts and listening to teachers. It could even be something really creative as well, or something that sparks you, something that ignites something in you. I say spiritual text because there's a ton of content you can go and dive into, follow your instincts, your intuition of what are you drawn to. Maybe explore something completely different than what you believe in. Push yourself if you want to be a contrarian, or find something that just lights you up. Maybe it's poetry, it's literature. It's something that lights you up. It's something that kind of sparks this like deeper reverence within you. It really helps you look at life in a way that illuminates it at new levels. Right? We want to have materials that help bring us into that space, especially if we feel like we've plateaued or we're not feeling anything. We really have to feel something, right? That's the initial spark. What is the spark? So we have to put really curated thoughts into our head. We have to really be mindful of what it is that we're listening to. It's fine to have, all kinds of like social media every so often. It's kind of like brain candy, but we also need to make sure that we're dedicating time to feeding ourselves, even if they're TED Talks or something that just really excites you, but you always have accessible this ability to bring in things that inspire you mentally. Like you want to ignite that spark. So the 5th step tool is that you spend time in nature. Nature is medicine. Spending time in nature allows us to balance ourselves, balance our frequency, and get us back into alignment with ourselves. So it actually helps lift us up if we're depressed. It helps us neutralize our emotions. It helps us get a clear sense of head when we can get into the rhythm of nature, when we can get into the way the wind is blowing, when we can hear the birds chirping, and we're in this reminder, this flow, this cadent rhythm that we're just another piece of material. We're all the same. And it helps us slow down. It helps us remove ourselves from daily life, from devices, and it gives us time to think. It gives us time to separate ourselves from modern world and bring us back to our very, very primal instincts. And it's a really important aspect that we explore different parts, or we explore nature, and that we really connect with nature and we see how much we are one with nature. We go through our own seasons just as nature does. And if we can really align with, especially nature that's close by to you, whether it's your backyard or it's a close by park or whatever is around you, that you're connecting with the location that you're in. There's a frequency and a vibration as well, and where you're living and why you're living there. And especially if you're having a hard time in an area, this might be a great opportunity to connect and really understand the vibe of it. Tool 6 is to seek out communities. Now, this is really interesting after 2020 on how we look at communities, how we have online communities, real life communities. We really want to find people that are sharing similar interests that we have, especially as we're evolving and we're growing. And we might be getting into new things that our friends and family aren't that into. So it's just a reminder of like how important support is and where you can find it. And you always have community here. I always love hearing your thoughts and where you're at on your journey and sharing, and just being able to know that this is a place where you can come and you can kind of fill up your spiritual creative tank, and you can be able to keep moving forward in life and doing the things that you love. And so whatever that is for you, finding those communities. I do hot yoga every day, and I have a lovely little community there, and it's something that I cherish, and it's a place that I go that's just for me, and I connect on every single level. My spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical are all being worked simultaneously. So I get the benefits of all of this in one, but then I just keep adding to it and adding to it. Going on walks is really great, just even around your neighborhood, just connecting with your neighbors, your community, your vibe, being able and being a part of something bigger than you, just to know that you're really not alone and that there's things for you. It's just a matter of connecting in the ways that feel right for you and exploring new things. And the reason this is important is because not only is it an inner journey that we want to go on, but it's also relational. So, how we're interacting with ourselves, it's a barometer when we go out and we interact with other people, and how in tune we are, and how we can start to elevate our relationships and the ones that we currently have to new relationships and so on. And we can start building new experiences and having really wonderful experiences with people that are like-minded. So it's really important that we feel connected. We feel connected not only within, but with others. And so the last step tool is to cultivate compassion and mindfulness in your daily life. And this also really is kind of along the same lines as gratitude, where your your love for yourself is by doing this, by going into these types of practices, these types of journeys, building creativity that has deep meaning and purpose for you is a spiritual act. And when we can allow ourselves the grace and the room to have mistakes, to allow for time to rest longer than we think we should, but we know we need it, to whatever comes up in the day, that we allow the gratitude to say that it's all working for us. We're connected, we're conduits to this creative force. We want to put our work out into the world that has purpose and meaning, and everything is just going to fall naturally into place, even if at the time it doesn't feel like that. And to be mindful about how you're spending time, how you're living, the things that you're putting in your body, the things that you're putting into your mind, the things that you're putting into your emotional state, the things you're allowing in your emotional state to deal with. And so by cultivating compassion within yourself, that's going to have a ripple effect. We can stack this, we can stack these tools anytime, anytime that you hit a rough patch, anytime you hit a plateau, you feel stuck, you feel lost. Go to step number 7. Just have compassion for yourself and be mindful and go and of your day. And then go to step 2 and practice self-observation. And then go to step 4 and read some uplifting text. And then go back to step 1 and remember that intention that you set. And so you're making sure that you've got these buffers around you to say, okay, I'm feeling this way, but now I have a tool to get me back into alignment. Okay, this feels off today, but I'm just going to allow it because I'm human and I get to have days that don't feel great and I get to have days that feel amazing. And it's all part of that experience because I'm a beautiful instrument that gets to have all the frequencies and all the tunes play through me because I'm a channel, because I'm a creative channel. And so if we can start looking at everything has meaning and purpose because we decide so, and it is meaningful for us, we're going to embark on a journey no matter what. But this is being able to be mindful about it, to be intentional about it, and to connect the pieces together. We can create just for the sake of creating. That's wonderful. I just want to take it to another level. I've been creating for so long that the more meaning, the more depth, the more story behind everything that I create has, and it's always been this way, has just landed even better. It meant more. There was truth in it. You can feel the truth in the work that you're doing. The perspective is yours. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking, when we see work of art, when we see creativity, what we're looking for is what's the perspective behind it? What's the story inside of it? What are you wrestling with? What was the experience you had that's unique to you that only you can share? Because it's you and your present moment and everything you've built up from that moment. So I hope this was of benefit, my friends. Thank you all for being here. I love you all. Go out and create some amazing work. Open up that channel, be that creative conduit that I know you are, and bring out those beautiful ideas into the world. And I will see you next time. Take care.